Tonight, we have even more disturbing, unredacted texts between Lisa Page and Peter Strzok that we're going to uncover and expose right here on this channel, so stay tuned for that. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. For those of you who don't know, every episode I start by thanking my subscribers because I realize how much I owe to you guys. Thank you. And if you have not hit that subscribe button yet and you want to join the channel and the initiative here, please come click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified. Now, jumping into it, we're going to look at this. The latest Q post. Now, I know we've talked about what all this is. It looks like a gun. It's shaped like that. If you flip it upside down, telling us there's going to be a week to remember. There's a lot that's coming out, and that we are now coming into the let's say 3 to 4 day countdown till when we expect to hear from Q again, given the blackout that is going on as we speak. He gave a 30-day countdown a while ago, and that will end on December 11th, which there's a lot of huge things that are going to be coming out in the news on December 11th, or I'm sorry, excuse me, on June 11th. And it's going to be big. It's going to be the day before the summit in North Korea. You have the Office of the Inspector General's report scheduled to be released. And I've said from the beginning that, when Trump goes and he negotiates this peace deal with Kim, whether it happens on the first day or not, and if you have the Office of Inspector General's report coming out the day before, it's completely fair to suggest that this is the perfect timing for that, because the media is going to want to run a full-scale disinformation campaign against the Inspector General's report, because it's going to expose all the people that they've been sycophantically worshiping, as they tend to do in their practice, as it were. But imagine this, like if you're thinking about this in the broader scale of events, you have the Office of Inspector General's report set to be released in full the day before the world's largest summit for peace, to date. And it's going to be between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, which could, if it's successful, lead to Donald Trump possibly being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Obviously, not that that is something that he's doing it for, and or that really makes that big a difference in the whole scheme of things. It's just kind of a nice sentiment. But the mainstream media can't run any of their spin. They can't run any of their disinformation, because they will be forced to cover this summit between Trump and the North Korean leader. And mark my words, guys. And I'm making a prediction right here tonight on the channel that when the Office of Inspector General's report is released on the 11th, which is at 2 p.m., I believe, in the afternoon on the 11th, that mark my words that the next day when the summit's happening, that there'll be some coverage of that summit. But if you turn on like a channel like CNN, I can almost guarantee you that my prediction is they will be covering the Inspector General's report. They will be trying to discredit it. They will be trying to poke holes in it. They will be acting as if it's a much more important story than what's going on in North Korea. And they will completely turn a blind eye to what is happening in real time, which is just, it baffles me. It blows my mind. It makes me sad for the state of affairs that we found ourselves in, where we can't even trust our own media, that the mainstream established media that's been there for so long and has been responsible for reporting a lot of good information to us that we need to know, but at the same time misleading us, giving us disinformation and propagandizing information. That is truly what the internet, what a venue like YouTube here and other venues across the internet and forums and threads and different comment sites, what they have done to break the mainstream media's stranglehold on the narrative. But still, there are millions and millions of people who are just not interested in any other set of facts besides what they hear from CNN or what they hear from MSNBC. So I get a lot of flack in the comments where people say to me, Craig, Why are you covering these websites? You know, they're the opposition to what we're doing here, and they're this and that, and they're misinformation and disinformation places. And my simple retort or rebuttal to this is, yes, I understand that, but are we not here to expose that and to debunk it? I mean, if you don't face a lie head on, then it can, basically travel around the world and come around to bite you in the you know what. If you don't address these things head on and go and find out where the disinformation is coming from and then put a spin on it that's going to help explain things better. But here, we're going to actually read through a few things here. But first, guys, this is it. 500 pages here of text messages. And I'm going to go through the anti-Trump, the crazy anti everyone. I mean, or basically anti-Trump, but it's anti-you, me, and they call us people that shop at Walmart just in a derogatory fashion, which, nothing against Walmart in personal. It's good for certain things. I buy certain other things in certain other stores. But here's the thing. What you'll see in these is they're the messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, and they're the text messages. And I mean, guys, the way they talk about our president, and a lot of these are actually from before the election even took place. So they're talking about the president with this complete disdain. They're using profanities. They're using slurs against him. They're basically showing the most complete partisan, anti-Trump, pro-Hillary behavior that you could ever imagine. And this is the person who is in charge of handling a very large portion of the investigation into Hillary Clinton, into her server, into the 33,000 emails that were deleted, the bleach-pitted servers, the illegal servers that were in coffee shops and basements, and the information such as special access program email information that was put on there that was basically what you would almost see as being a dead drop for other agencies, foreign actors who donate to the Clinton Foundation, get told where this dead drop is, and they can go cherry pick the information they want right out of it. And the association between that and all the files found on Anthony Weiner's laptop and Uma Abedin. And guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So we're going to read through these in a minute, but to give you some context of what we're going to read there, I'm going to start by just explaining a few things here. Q doesn't mention Strzok directly. He says PS usually when he's referring to Strzok. But here's one that stood out to me where he actually names Peter Strzok by name. And he gives us this whole basic breakdown of what's happening. It couldn't be more pertinent than today when we're about to cover the text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. There's like 500 pages more that show just complete. I mean, the worst kind of partisanship, the worst kind of derogatory terms about the president, the worst kind of misinformation, in my opinion, that they were basically feeding each other, it would seem, to hype each other up against President Trump. But here you go. It says, have you been watching the news since Friday? Who is Peter Strzok? How was he compromised? How was he paid? Who is Melissa Hodgman? Company title, data promotion, focus on the date. What events regarding Peter recently occurred that you know? Think HRC emails, Wiener laptop, etc. Dates, data promotion of wife. How do they stack the deck? Who do they want inside the government? What are puppets? How do you control a puppet? Number 2 in FBI, wife connection. What is a pattern? Follow the wives. Keep watching the news this week. Future proofs past. Reread crumbs. Small. How many Dems Republicans will not seek election? Why? What just passed in the Senate? Why? Who is their new handler? Do as told. Why is this relevant? Do you not understand the government is being gutted publicly? Bottom, middle, top. Hussein, Iran connection. Bombs away. Merry Christmas. Now, this was before Christmas of 2017. This is back on December 4th. So kind of like an early Christmas gift from Q, if you will. And listen, we're going to focus on the first part of this, and we'll go into this part a little bit, but we're not going to cover the whole thing because this is an older one. But let's just look at what this is saying. Peter Strzok is the head of counterintelligence at the FBI. He's in charge. He was in charge of a large portion of the Hillary Clinton investigation into her servers. And how was he compromised? That's a very good question. I don't think it was hard to compromise him, considering his complete hatred of President Trump. Maybe he was compromised before, and that's what caused him to dislike him and Lisa Page, who is a lawyer at the FBI. For them both to dislike President Trump, but we'll see. How is he paid? Well, that's interesting. I think he was paid by getting his wife a promotion, right? And I'm only saying that because, you read through, there's a few stories about this online. I've kind of verified by cross-checking each of the stories. Melissa Hodgman is actually Peter Strzok's wife. And she is, there's a few things you should know about her, and we'll go through them right here on heavy.com or whatever. They did a half-decent article about this. She worked for the SEC since 2008, and they both went to Georgetown, and obviously he was having an affair with Lisa Page. Let's see. I think the next one is the more important one. No. Oh, excuse me. So this article doesn't even cover it. What is important is that she was promoted within the Securities Exchange Commission in October of 2017, October of 2016, right before the election. I wonder why. A month before the election, Peter Strzok's wife got promoted to it's like assistant directorship in the SEC. So here, you guys let me know what you think, but it says in the story that I was reading before, it basically explained how she was in October. That in October of 2016, she was basically promoted to that position. I wonder why. And another one is Andrew McCabe's wife, who's mentioned in this Q post as well. It's saying the number 2 in the FBI, the wife connection. And we all know the story that came out about her, which was basically the implication that she had taken up to $700,000 in donations from Clinton, the Clinton donation cabal, or however you want to put it, Clinton-linked donors, right? They were able to give her $700,000, and her husband just happened to be one of the highest ranking officials at the FBI, who happened to be in charge after a recusal of overseeing the FBI's investigation into all of these manners that we have discussed previously in this post. Here's a post from Trump back in March. But first, we're going to look at this one from December, right? And it says, how can FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, the man in charge, along with Leak and James Comey of the phony Hillary Clinton investigation, including her 33,000 illegally deleted emails, be given $700,000 for his wife's campaign by Clinton puppets during investigation? Once again, President Trump lays it out. There couldn't be the one thing I will say I do appreciate about Twitter, in the sense of Donald Trump tweeting, President Trump tweeting, is that look at the concise nature in which this has been articulated for us. Look at the finite detail to give us the exact story in under 160 characters here. This wraps up everything that I need to say, but I'll keep going just to further explain it. Again, Donald Trump in March saying, as the House Intelligence Committee has concluded, there was no collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign, as many are now finding out. However, there was tremendous leaking, lying, and corruption at the highest levels of the FBI, Justice, and State Departments. Drain the swamp. Yeah, that's exactly what we've been going through here. And again, from April, James Comey just threw Andrew McCabe under the bus, quote unquote. Inspector General's report on McCabe is a disaster for both of them getting a little lot of their own medicine. Yes, I mean, this is what's happening. The Inspector General's report is gonna change everything, and we're gonna get a little taste of it right here, right now, with you guys as we read through some of these incredible, sick and disturbing tweets or actually texts between Lisa Page and Pete. So, starting here, I'm no prude, and we'll read this. I'm no prude, but I'm really appalled by this. So you don't have to go looking. In case you hadn't heard, Trump called him the P word. The man has no dignity or class. He simply cannot be our president. And this is from February 13th of 2016. So this is what, 6 months, or no, excuse me. This is 8 months, roughly a little less or a little more than 8 months before the election actually takes place. And this is a from Peter Strzok to Lisa Page, right? Guys, and we're gonna keep going, and there's even more, and I'm only gonna get through half of these, and I'm gonna put a link, so if you guys want to read the other half and go skim through this, and because I haven't been able, there's not enough time for me to go through each and every one of these. Suffice it to say that I've actually just found these first ones, and they're quite crazy and disturbing that the people at the FBI were saying this stuff. So let me just go through them really quick here with you. Here's one. And they say they use the Lord's name in vain there, and they say Trump is a loathsome human, right? Okay, that's nice. I think that's from Peter Strzok again there. All right, let's look at their next little one. All right. And holy expletive, Cruz just dropped out of the race. It's going to be a Clinton-Trump race. Unbelievable. And they're just shocked. They're shocked. They can't believe it. You know, it's blowing their whole world. And here, I started, and while I hate Trump, part of me thought blank. We can't know that. That's redacted, I guess. May not get into blank because they're white and not from but blank expletive Texas. Guys, do you hear this stuff? Listen, I mean, and it goes on, and it goes on, even more disturbing, let's say. They fully deserve to go and demonstrate the absolute bigoted nonsense of Trump. June 12th, 2016, again, before the election of Donald Trump. Now you can see they're afraid here when they realize that Trump's talking about the Russia investigation and how, or talking about the investigation. They don't say exactly which one. Could be one of many. But you can see how they're so worried about what he's doing once they realize that he's probably going to win. Now, they share a lot of articles about Trump. And here's another one. And wow, Donald Trump is an enormous expletive. Isn't that nice? Isn't this just even? I'm glad they chose to self-edit there. That's at least something. Trump barely spoke, but the first thing out of his mouth was, "We're going to win so big." The whole thing is like having a bad dream. I couldn't agree more, except the dream that's the nightmare that we've woken up to is that there are people in the FBI like this who are actively seeking to undermine the duly elected president of the United States, and it's just now coming out and being brought to our attention. Now that's the nightmare that I'm living in. So you guys, that's what they've managed to put together here. Here's another gem. Trump is a disaster. I have no idea how destabilizing his presidency would be. it wouldn't be destabilizing. We're almost 2 years into it, and the only thing that's been destabilized is everything by the Democrats and the anti-Trumpers and the elite, the criminals in the FBI and the DOJ and the uh, intelligence agencies across the board. These people who, obviously, there's a lot of good people that work in all those agencies, but the people who have done these crimes against our country, they have to pay for this. This is not, you can't excuse this kind of behavior. Sharing articles like Donald Trump, a racist, question mark, right? And that just wonderful. Again, yeah, it's pretty cool. She just has to win now. I'm not going to lie. I got a flash of nervousness yesterday about Trump. The Sandinistas have the potential to make a very big mistake here. So they're even afraid of the people who are from Bernie Sanders' camp, who may or may not have went and voted for Trump once they realized how rigged and set up and fake the whole Democratic Party is, and that there's no real fair elections going on over there. It's just literally whatever is going on over there, just complete chaos and madness, if you ask me. Again, they're sharing a lot of articles about Trump here, and apparently that's like one thing. They're like, and the funny thing is that these two are literally, Trump's not exaggerating. If you actually read through some of their conversations, they literally sound like teenage kids texting each other. And now another one, trumped by blank and blank being absent. I don't know. I'd love to know what these redacted portions actually read out to say. That would be nice. Here's a great one. This is perfect. They use the Lord's name in vain again, and they say you should read this and Trump should go F himself. And these are the people that, guys, I mean, and we'll read through a few more. Let's read through a few more, because I'm going to give you guys half of it. Half of the ones I could find just right off the bat without going through these and reading through it in full, which I plan on trying to do eventually, but it's 500 pages of text messages. They're even worried about what Trump's saying. They can't take that he says he's basically calling them out, their whole cabal out. There's a failing mission to save Donald Trump from himself. That's interesting. From himself, that would be an interesting thought. Again, and I am worried about what Trump is encouraging in our behavior. The things that made me proud about our tolerance for dissent, what makes us different from Sunnis and Shias losing each other up, is disappearing. I mean, listen to these people. Listen to how self-righteous they are, how just delusional they are. They're living out in la la land. These people don't have any idea or clue what's going on. They're talking to each other, and they're so worried about how Trump is making them just become intolerant and unable to hear a dissenting opinion. Oh, cry me a river. Give me a break. You're using it as an excuse to discriminate against someone you absolutely hate because they're going to expose the criminal behavior you've been engaged in for so long. And that's why you talk like this behind the scenes. And that's just the truth. I hate to have to say it, but it is. And they never stop. They just keep going on and on. Here's a great one. And I wanted to get this one out because it just explains who these people are. It says, just went to a Southern Virginia Walmart, could smell the Trump support. And then they respond, right? That was Lisa Page. And then Peter Strzok responds, yup, out to lunch with blank. We both hate everyone and everything. These are the people. These are the people. Guys, I mean, and I could go on. And I could go on. It just keeps going. And they're talking about the Trump Hotel, and they keep sharing all these stories. And like I said, I'm not going to go through every. Listen, I'm not going to go through every one of these, but I will tell you this, guys, that what we just went through is just a sampling of 500 pages worth of text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. That, I mean, listen, this is the story that Trump's been trying to get out there. This is what Trump's been trying to tell us on his Twitter feed. This is what he's been telling us about Comey. This is what he's been telling us about everything that's going on there. And I just read it out to you guys. I just gave you a readout of it. Now imagine this. Peter Strzok is the one who changed, who advised James Comey to change the wording from the readout of what Hillary Clinton did, to change the wording to a term that is unable to be construed as being grounds for indictment, right? To basically pardon her unofficially by saying they're not going to investigate, they're not going to pursue charges, because both the FBI and the Department of Justice were both basically compromised at that point. They were basically just, okay, well, Hillary sold secret information and made millions in the Clinton Foundation, and her and her husband did some pretty awful things, and who knows, there's also allegations about what's going on in Epstein Island and all the crazy stuff with Uma Abedin. But you know what? We're gonna just say it was an accident. She didn't mean to. No, she just she didn't know. It's like an old person with technology. They don't know what they're doing. I don't believe it for 1 second. Okay, and this just goes to prove that everything that we've been talking about here is not just some fantasy. We're not living out in La La Land. This isn't some LARP. This is the real information. Okay, this is the real deal. Everything that we need to know, and I hope that kind of clears up some things for you guys. Now, another thing we have to look at, a few stories I want to cover real quick in part before we close. You have the U.S. lawmakers pressing Facebook over Chinese data sharing. So again, Facebook in the news because, Facebook, Apple, they're all basically just turning everything over to China because they want to go there, because they're billionaires. They made billions off of us, the American people. Right now, they're going to go to the biggest market in the world, China, and over there, they'll be basically, if they thought they were corporate overlords here in America, they'll be like real, feudal lords in China. They'll be ruling over the communist section or factions, because I'm pretty sure you can basically, if you can, peddle enough influence in the Communist Party, they'll basically give you anything you want, and the people will treat you like gods, which they already are treated that way over there anyway. So listen, it's like literal migration of talent that's leaving our country, and I say good riddance. Let's bring in another round of smart people who can make technology that won't destroy our lives like Facebook and all these other things have done. So, that's my 2 cents on it. I don't want to get too much into it, but I do think this is a very disturbing story that's breaking and coming out of the consulate in Guangzhou, China, and it's a bunch of U.S. consulate workers who are falling ill to the same illness that struck the embassy workers who were working in Cuba after they heard strange noises, and then they felt very, very debilitating physical effects and sickness, unexplained, the equivalent to having severe head trauma, like a concussion. And it happened in Cuba. Now it's happening in China. This is very worrisome. This is obviously a targeted attack, and they're using sound weapons, which is terrifying in and of itself, because it's talk about an you can't trace the weapon, and it can basically just fry your brain like a microwave gun from probably 100 yards away without them even having to be near you. That to me is terrifying, as far as just something we need to address immediately, and we need to keep an eye on and understand what's going on there. So you guys let me know what you think about what's going on in China, and please let me know what you think about these text messages, because I do believe that there is a lot there. And if you guys want to read through it, I'll leave the link. And if you can find anything else, post it in the comments of this video, and hopefully I'll read through it, and maybe I'll pick it up and feature it in the next episode because I'll have the information. Now, one more thing I want to talk about before we go, actually two more things, is first off, we have this basically 160 children basically rescued out of human sex trafficking rings that were found or discovered in Georgia after an arrest led to the exposing of over 160 minors who were inside of a sex trafficking ring. And that's just one example of how we're really making a difference on a daily basis. And a lot of people say, oh, nothing's being done. Well, here's just another example of something being done. And I think it's good to highlight these stories because they should be uplifting, even though they're from the most tragic of circumstances. They actually highlight the heroes that are out there fighting to save children on a daily basis, which I think is an incredible work of honor and dignity that they're doing, and we have to support them any way that we can. Now, here's another thing. The Bilderberg group's getting ready to meet, and if you guys don't know, you can look up Bilderberg. I don't have enough time really here to explain the whole thing to you. Let's just put it this way. It's the elite, it's the globalist cabal of Luciferian pedophile Satanists. I'm not saying they all are, obviously. I'm just saying that it is my opinion that there are some who are a part of that who attend this meeting. And they're going to talk. Here's their agenda because it always gets leaked. I think they just started giving it out. And you can read through them. They go through all the stuff they're going to do. Populism in Europe, the inequality of challenge. I'll read through them. The inequality challenge, future of work, artificial intelligence, the U.S. before midterms, free trade, U.S. world leadership, Russia, quantum computing, Saudi Arabia and Iran, the post-truth world, current events. So the two I wanted to highlight here were first, the U.S. before midterm elections. And this is going to have a lot to do with the stories you're going to see being leaked by the mainstream media, which is controlled by the globalists, which are the people who will be attending this meeting in Bilderberg. And their attempts to use this subpoena that may be coming out from the Mueller team and all types of other tactics to basically undermine the confidence in the president and then his party by proxy. And the second thing I wanted to highlight here is the post-truth world. Wow. What I wanted to say about this, because they're going to have some weird way of explaining this, as it's the post-truth of something or whatever, Wikipedia, I don't know, or the WikiLeaks, but it's really the post-truth world in the world that we know that they are the globalist, Luciferian, pedophile, elitist, Satanists. That's the post-truth. Because before now, we were not aware. And now they're trying to scramble to figure out how to turn this in their favor. And what we have to do is we have to keep calling it out for what it is. And we have to keep on spreading the truth so that it's not just going to be the post-truth as in truth doesn't matter anymore and Donald Trump lies and he calls us fake news and we're real news and da-da-da. I'm saying that sarcastically, obviously. It's truly the post-truth of it's after the truth has been exposed about them. That's the world we live in. That's the world they're scrambling to basically enact and change. So you guys let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. I can't wait to read through those. But that's going to basically be it for this episode. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody for watching. Now, if you're looking for a way to contribute to this episode or this channel, the best way to do it, if you have not yet, hit the subscribe button right here, the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit that. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, be notified because it's free to you. It helps me out big time, and I just can't tell you how much it means for me when everybody comes and hits that button and then joins the initiative here. The second best way is to scroll down at the end of this video and leave your thoughts, theories, and insights in the comments because, like I say, we try to have our own QAnon research board at the end of every one of these videos where we just contribute thoughts and theories about what's going on in the news and the events and topics covered here in the episodes and other things that we haven't covered here in the episodes. And we create a broad discussion about what's going on. So I encourage everyone to go down, even if you can't leave a comment, and scroll down and read through because you're going to learn something you didn't know. And you may even be wanting to comment and join once you go read through some of the posts down there because there's a lot of great people that contribute regularly. And I'm going to ask you guys, again, to spread this one right here. This is the What is QAnon video, and it's just a good intro for people who don't know. So if you want to spread that on your Twitter or Facebook feeds or whatever, that helps out big time. Again, if you want to come over here to Just Informed Talk, it's at Justin_formed on Twitter. You guys can come join the effort over here. You can tweet and reply and have a follow the channel and follow all the updates, and I'll give you guys updates on what's going on. I even post little videos that I make on my own here, stuff you probably won't see on the channel. So you guys want to go check out that content, feel free to do it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you guys want to hear in the upcoming episodes. If there's any in particular information that you guys think I should cover, definitely come over here to Twitter and tweet that at me at Justin_form. That's a big way. Now again, if you're looking for another way to help to contribute financially, I really appreciate it. Come over here to patreon.com. That's patreon.com. You can search Just Informed Talk. Hit this button when you come to this page to become a patron. And basically, it's pretty simple. You can contribute at different reward levels. You get something in return. It helps keep this channel alive. And like I said in the last video, guys, what's been going on at YouTube, it seems to be, now that I've addressed it, it's lo and behold, it's not really happening. But we'll see how long that lasts. And this channel is supported by the content that I monetize on YouTube and this. That's it. So when you guys come over here and contribute, you guys get definitely a reward if you contribute at a reward level, and you help keep the channel going. And then I encourage everyone, when you come over here and sign up, and you sign up at a $5 or more pledge per month, which it's a monthly pledge site, so it helps me out big time, just write me in the messages, because you can private message me once you sign up, and leave your questions. If you have questions you want me to feature on the show, please leave them, and I'll try to mention I'll mention your name, and we'll show your question, and I'll answer it. So if you guys have questions, please leave them there in my message box by privately messaging me once you sign up to become a patron for the channel, and I will answer those questions as we go along here. So you guys can go check that out. That's definitely a cool way, and it helps me out big time. So thank you so much, everybody who comes over and supports on that channel. Now, before we go, we're going to talk about the most important thing, and that is God. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of scripture that, really speaks to me when I think of what patience means, and what understanding is, and what the grace of God truly means, for each and every one of us. It's a combination of things. God's grace is the saving grace that is Jesus's life that was sacrificed for our sins. But it's also the grace of God, which is seen in every man, woman, and child, in good deeds and actions, and in good thoughts and behaviors, and in just general decency and kindness. And then it's also so many other things. It's just an embodiment of all that's good about God. And when I think about that, I think about a verse from the book of James, and it's in chapter 5, and it's verse 7. And we're going to read through it, and it's just something that stood out to me, and I wanted to bring it to you guys, and I hope it resonates with each and every one of you. But it says, "Therefore, brothers, be patient until the Lord's coming. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, and is patient with it until it receives the early and the late rains. You must also be patient. Strengthen your hearts, because the Lord's coming is near. Brothers, do not complain about one another, so that you will not be judged. Look, the judge stands at the door. Brothers, take the prophets who spoke in the Lord's name as an example of suffering and patience. See, we count as blessed those who have endured. You have heard of Job's endurance, and have seen the outcome from the Lord. The Lord is very compassionate and merciful." And those words, I like to pick Bible verses that sometimes I like to pick ones that uplift people who I'm thinking of. Sometimes I like to pick ones that uplift myself. Sometimes I like to pick ones that I think will uplift the audience in general. And this one is definitely one that kind of resonates more toward uplifting myself, which I don't think that's a bad thing, because I want to share it with you so I can help uplift you as well. And it's just a little bit of reinforcement, concreting my thought here. But it's telling us that we have to be patient until the Lord's coming. And it explains that when you look at the suffering of the prophets, that and the patience that they exemplified to us, that we have to count ourselves blessed as we go through these times of uncertainty and these times of trouble and these times of tribulation where things don't seem to be working out the way we planned. We have to take solace in the eternal life that is God, that will come to us and will save us and will ultimately redeem us, as long as we seek his redemption, seek God's forgiveness, seek God's wisdom and grace on a regular basis, and relinquish ourselves and our lives to God. So just remember that if you're out there listening and you're doubting, or you're having trouble, or you're going through a hardship, just remember that just as the prophets went through these things, and God delivered them, that the Lord is very compassionate and merciful, and he has a plan for each and every one of us, and he will deliver you as according to your plan. And the harder and stronger that you trust in that plan, the more and more God will show you the way. So put your faith in God, pray to God, really turn your life over and make that effort, because once you do, you're going to be just exposed to this whole new world that God has waiting for you, that's going to really open up so many doors that you never thought could ever open, and it will make you into a light to shine out to the world, to bring others into the light of God, which is what I think we all should be doing every single day. So if you don't take anything else away from this episode, just remember that God's love is eternal, and he loves you, and he is there for you. So that's going to be it for me. Again, if you have not hit that subscribe button, please come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified. But that's going to be it. I want to say thank you again to every single person who's watching and all my subscribers. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to talk more, and leave comments down if you want to talk there as well. So that's going to be it for this episode. I want to say thanks for watching. My name is Craig. This is Just Informed Talk. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.